And congratulations on your graduation, Ada, finally. My name is Meryem. I'm a lawyer, so I somehow managed to be one of them, you know. Trust me, I'm a lawyer. And I'm a first-year PhD student, and my research is about illegal downloading, uploading, streaming, including your YouPorn actions. You know, all this copyright shit. And yeah, speaking of copyright and YouPorn, have you heard about the German case in which a porn film company sued its user for copyright violation? And the judge said that, I'm not sure if pornography is protected as intellectual property because there wasn't any creativity. It was pure sex and nothing creative. He obviously never visited YouPorn. Anyway, I come from Turkey, not from Istanbul. They don't do my hometown's t-shirts. And yeah, it came out of the Turkey. Yes, I'm learning German. Well, a good friend of mine told me that life is too short to learn German. Just give it one. And well, I already paid all the whole tuition fee. I have already paid the whole tuition fee, so I'll see what happens. First of all, I regret to inform you that this is my very first experience as an attempt to be a comedian, and I have just been dumped by my boyfriend. And I've been forced at my sister's wedding. Well, it shit happens, you know, it's a sign of a healthy life. And the preparation wasn't easy. Everybody kept telling me, Meryem, just focus on your work, you know, then you will not think about him. But how, you know, all these huge law books, you know, they remind me of him, because they're at least as boring as him. But I'm lucky because I have my mom. She's very supportive. She's just allergic to all this kind of drama. The very first day I called my mom saying, Mom, it happened again. And then she said, oh Meryem, shut up. It was just time to refresh, and he didn't even have a proper job. He was a PhD student. And she added, Meryem, you should have got married, this lawyer guy. She's talking about my ex-boyfriend from 5 years ago. And yeah, she just couldn't get over it, and I'm the one saying, Mom, you know, just forget about him. You know, it's just, you know, he wasn't even a good-looking guy. And then she said, poor girl, you don't seem to get the crucial point. All guys are saying when you turn off the lights. And yes, as I said, this is my first experience as a comedian, but I have performed before. I have an unsuccessful attempt to be a drummer. When I was in the secondary school, I was in the team to play drum in one of these national days in Turkey. We have many of them. And I was so excited that I invited the entire family, the whole neighborhood. But I was so upset that I didn't know my favorite teacher. It turned out that I wasn't his favorite student. Put me in the very back row because I was the shortest one. And this girl in the very front row was awful. Then the day came, the ceremony started, we started playing our drums and then walking, and then I've just seen my parents looking for me. They haven't seen me yet, but I also saw my teacher, you know, my favorite teacher, approaching me, and I also saw that there was something wrong in the front row. Then I saw this giant bitch broke the drum. Then I was so sure that my teacher was gonna ask me, Meryem, could you please replace her? I said yes, 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 before he finished his sentence, and he was asking me to give my drum to her. Then I, you know, passed by my family without even a drum. But I didn't give up. I used to be a Turkish traditional dancer, not a ballet dancer. And I was professional. I thought I was. And there was this the big final show at the end of the year. So we were rehearsing just a day before the show, and the head of the academy, the dance academy, he came to see how we were. And then we danced, we were approximately like 200 people. He came, he asked us to dance, we did, and then he asked me to step forward. Since I'm a professional, I thought he was gonna say, you know, yeah, this is an example, you know, this is how you're supposed to do. I stepped forward and I danced. I was so proud. I was expecting him to say, you know, as I said, okay, this is what I want you to do. He said, this is what I want you not to do. This is just wrong. And this is how it ended. And And yeah, this thing and many other things forced me to be a lawyer. I became a lawyer and I practiced as a lawyer in Turkey for like a couple of years. That didn't end well as well. And does anybody know who are the enemies of lawyers? But the answer is everybody in Turkey. But in general, the answer is your own customer. You know, like you win 9 cases out of 10 and you only lose 1. You're the worst lawyer ever. And yeah, we had this old grumpy lady as our client who used to sue every single company for basically conducting a business. And the last company she sued was producing wax. And she sued them for not putting a warning on the box saying, don't heat it up in a microwave, which she did, and she had a massive explosion. And second-degree burn, seriously. We did sue, we lost. Not because the case was stupid, because I didn't appear to court. I got fired. And again, not because I didn't appear to court. My boss asked me, okay, Meryem, what is your excuse? And I said, well, I overslept. You know, that may happen to anybody. And I said, we were gonna lose anyway. Then yeah, after failing too many times, I said maybe I should go back to school. I think maybe this is all happening because of, lack of education. Then I started applying for PhD. I started from the very south of the UK for an obvious reason. I come from a Mediterranean country, and I applied. Then the first rejection email I got was the worst one. It was talking about my abilities. It was saying, dear Meryem, we regret to inform you that you're not capable of doing PhD. Wow. All right. I moved on. I moved on to the middle. I applied to Nottingham University where I had my master's degree. They literally rejected me because they got to know me during my master's. This is how I ended up in Glasgow. But, sorry, I also applied a couple of universities in London, but they haven't replied me at all. And yeah, but I like here. I like it here because the city and people, they remind me of Turkey. Especially when I see people, speeding on the streets. It's a very Turkish thing. And yeah, of course I struggle with the accent a lot, as every single international student there. And I think it was the very first week I went to theater to see the play Crime and Punishment. As, some of you may know, the main character, Raskolnikov, was Glaswegian. I learned my lesson, so I didn't get a word. And yeah, and again, there was this day, we foreign people, international people, if you're talking to an international person, and if that person is shaking, her head like, yeah, it means that we don't get a word. Nothing at all. And there was this old man who came to repair our shower head. I think it was again one of these first weeks. I welcomed him, and he kept talking like 5 minutes. And then I kept shaking my head. Yeah. And he stopped at some point, he looked at me, he gave me a funny look. He said, this was a question, Garo. Oh yeah, my research. As I said, it's about copyright law, illegal downloading. And the interesting thing is that I did not illegally download anything before I started my PhD. Not because I was a man of principle, because I didn't know how to do it. When I had my first meeting with my supervisor, I was so proud of myself, and I said, I never did it. And then she said, you better start learning. Which I did. I think I went too far. Now I know all these downloading tricks, and I became an addict, like a night bird. So after not being able to have a meeting with my supervisor for like a couple of months, I realized that wasn't her point. Before I finished, have you heard about the Turkish man who got arrested in London for eating a swan? Maybe some of you. And yeah, this man, he tried to get away with it, as any single Turkish man would do. He said that I liked the queen, and I didn't know what kind of bird it was, but it tasted nice. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. For preparing us for football. messed it up.